your view on class in the UK?
UK has always had class system from very long time ago, and before there was aristocratic class system, which are extremely rich people, people who own land, and there were middle class people, and then there were people who were known as poor class. Now basically, as you know, time has passed, even though whether we like it or not, there are still very rich people and there are middle class people. There are not many poor people left now.
Class in the UK, class system, it's a long heritage, long tradition of class in the UK. I don't think it's as obvious nowadays as it once was, but it still is there, and it's derived a lot, I think, between public school and state school. So that students that go to public school, where they're paying for their schooling, come from a richer background, where parents can afford, and that starts to develop a class system. To the extent that a lot of our senior roles in the UK and government is full of people that have been to private school.
I think for me, from my point of view, I think class system is not a good system because it shows people like, you know, different level of people. I think we're all the same people. So class shouldn't be really a matter in a society. If you're working man. It doesn't matter if you're middle class or upper class or lower class. It's got to be just you're a working man, you're making living for your family. Just that's how it is for me.
My views on class are that it's essentially social stereotyping that relates to intelligence and wealth, institution, manners, things like this. When I say institution, I mean sort of a person's upbringing, so how they treat other people. But again, this is stereotyping, so I feel that a lot of people fall different places on this spectrum. So,
What class do you think you are?
I think that's a really difficult question. A lot of people, they don't really want to sort of put themselves in any one specific place. If you say I'm middle class, you're saying I think I'm very wealthy, and obviously objectively might not be. Although you could be lower class, you might still be very intelligent or really quite wealthy. Some people are sort of born into money. I myself, I wouldn't say that I was born into money. I say that I've had a good education. So I guess I fall somewhere in the middle, I hope.
What class do I think I am? I don't like putting labels, but if we take of high class, middle class, working class, I would say I'm middle class. I'm not born into a family of wealth, so I've had to strive for anything that I've achieved over life. So I went to a state school, so I haven't had the privileges that some may have had where they've been able to afford things. But I think class as well can be derived sometimes by behaviour, how you approach others and work with other people.
I would say, because I make a living, I'm working. I'll call myself a working class, because I make a living for my family, and that's what I'll call myself.
I think I'm in a middle class. I'm not that rich also, not that poor also, but I can afford, I can live without anyone help. I can work, I can live on my own. As a family, not depending on anyone. So I think I'm in a middle class.
You can say middle class, yeah.
I would like to think I'm in the middle class system because I'm not filthy rich as you, and I have a good job. I own a house, so based on those things, I think I belong to the middle class.